might argue that a good bourbon needs no partner, but magic happens when you combine the taste of bourbon with the salty deliciousness of bacon. The Bourbon and Bacon Fest this weekend in Tacoma pairs two favorites of mine, of course, into one fantastic event. And we have Taryn Daly from KISW here, the sponsor behind the event, and she's going to tell us all about it. And for our bourbon one-on-one today, Alan Davis from Chamber Bay's Distillery is also here. So Bourbon and Bacon Fest, let's start there. What is it?
It is magic, first of all. Well, it is absolute magic. It is a wonderful day where about 40 food and beverage vendors come together, restaurants and distilleries, and they set up shop and display all sorts of delicious bacon-inspired treats, and you get to pair those with sips of amazing bourbons from distilleries, both large and small, and it's over the course of a couple hours, you can really
do some damage. Yeah,
absolutely.
I like that. And this is for a good cause as well.
It's for a great cause. Our benefiting charity is Treehouse. They've been around since the 80s, and they help children in foster care just kind of have the best opportunities available to them. One of those things being hopefully, graduating from high school. It's a huge concern when a child is in foster care.
Right.
And typically in the state of Washington, if children are in foster care, it's about a 50% graduation rate. When Treehouse steps in, they raise that bar to about 70%.
That's awesome.
And if those kids stick around for a fifth year, that increases to over 80%.
So you can spend your weekend doing bourbon and bacon and feeling good about it because you're giving back to the community.
Absolutely, to foster children who need every available resource to help them succeed. It's great.
And I know a lot about bacon, as my scale will tell you at home, but I don't know a lot about bourbon.
Well,
so you're the man.
That's why I'm here,
Yeah, that's why you're here, Alan.
I brought 4 bourbons, 2 of ours, and 2 national brands to basically 2 different styles of bourbon, and then our ghost pepper whiskey to finish off with.
Woo!
So we can start, I'll talk, you guys can taste. With our greenhorn bourbon. So again, our 2 bourbons are the same recipe or mash bill. This is just the younger, lighter version.
Okay, I don't even really, I'm going to be honest with you, Alan. What do we do here? We sniff, we swirl,
you can nose it first.
We shoot.
You can taste it. If you want a little water to proof it down, we brought some water for you guys. So bourbon is an aged corn whiskey at its core, to really simplify it. It's got to be 51% corn, but most bourbons are about 2/3 corn. Ours is 70%. But then we use wheat as a secondary grain.
So this is like a vegetable.
A little bit.
Yeah, yeah.
It's a health
Meats and veggies all weekend at Bourbon and Bacon Fest.
The other main rule I would say
is really smooth.
Has to be made in the U.S.
It does have
you
bourbon.
You can't make bourbon outside the U.S. No, as of 1964, it's got to be made in the U.S. It is now the Native American spirit officially.
Okay, there we go.
According to our government.
I feel very American drinking this. Cheers, first of all. And I got to say, this is really smooth. I thought I was going to have to hide my face.
And that's only 20 months old. So super young bourbon, just a baby, if you will. This one's a little bit older.
Okay, this is a teenager.
This is a teenager.
Okay.
This is 3.5 years, but one of the reasons why they are so smooth is how we age them. We are totally unique in our aging process. We have a floating boathouse on Puget Sound. So we're harnessing the motion of the ocean to speed up the aging process.
Cheers again. I feel like I do it every time.
That is Northwest bourbon aged on the water.
On the water?
That's unique to us, yes.
Okay, and whose idea was it to make sure you guys had a houseboat to do this on? Because that sounds like one party.
Jeff Robinette, my partner, and I came together, and he ended up finding the boathouse, but we had read about the people putting them on ships and having really good results, and so we decided to go the boathouse route. That one's a little bit stronger.
Yeah, that is.
You can add a little water if you like.
To it?
To it.
See, I don't know these
So that's to proof it down. You always want to check the proof of the bourbon. That'll help you determine it. This one's 95 proof, which just means 47.5% alcohol.
And if you were to go to Bourbon and Bacon Fest this weekend and you're kind of a dummy like me when it comes to bourbon, that's okay.
Yeah.
Absolutely.
Right?
It's an educational experience, and I am a bourbon drinker.
Yeah.
But I don't know all the little minor details about each bourbon, and so it's really great. You get to sit and talk with these distillers, and they will walk you through every single product that they bring, and it's an absolute blast. And if you're not a bourbon drinker, they will have wine, beer available. But I definitely encourage people to get out there and try something new.
Well, and it's the perfect weather for this because I'm feeling warm and toasty on the inside right now already.
'Tis the season.
And when you go to Bourbon and Bacon Fest, how best do you use your time, right?
So,
I want to wisely map out where I'm going.
That is a very, very good question. So it can be a little bit overwhelming just because there is so much, and it's going to smell fantastic.
Yeah.
I like to try to hit some of the ones right in the very front, and then as I start to make my rounds, I will ask other people, what was your favorite
Oh, there
bourbon?
we go.
What was your favorite food item? And then I will let the other people tell me what their favorites are and hit them up.
Okay.
That's a trick of the trade.
Okay, I see. And now what did you just pour for us here,
So I poured the
Alan?
two national brands. We have Maker's Mark and Wild Turkey. So Maker's Mark.
Okay, Maker's Mark, Wild Turkey.
Maker's Mark on the right. So like us, Maker's Mark uses wheat as a secondary grain. It's going to make it sweeter. Again, they're mostly corn.
And then with a little wheat.
But a little bit of wheat. So like ours, it's going to be a little bit sweeter, whereas Wild Turkey is the other style of bourbon. They use rye. It's going to make it spicier.
Whew.
Now, it's because this is one stronger, too. It's 101 proof.
Oh, my gosh.
You might want to add a little water.
Yeah, we need to do like a little bit of water here. So I do.
A little bit of water, yep, and just do a few drops. And
just a few drops,
you can do the whole
Alan.
thing.
We got like a couple segments, I think, left in this show.
There you go.
Oh, God, missed the bottle.
We'll get some coffee for you. So you're going to notice rye bourbons like this are spicier. Wheated bourbons like this and ours are going to be a little sweeter. So sweet versus spice.
Yeah.
But those are the two main different styles of bourbon that people aren't always aware of. And they aren't really clear on the labels all the time. But again, the choice is corn and wheat or corn and rye.
Okay.
And so classic rye bourbon right there.
Well, we don't, I mean, yeah, great. But this is what I like.
Yeah,
this one is what I like.
appreciate
And tell me about these beautiful bottles and coming up with the logos and the name and all of that. What is that process like?
Well, the bottle, we're looking for a flask style bottle. We found this one that's based on a bottle John Wayne was holding in the movie Rooster Cogburn. So really cool story. And then wanted kind of a screen printed with the label look to it. Because as we get older and older, we'll have different labels go on there. But yeah, just plays to kind of our boathouse bourbon. So.
And what were you doing before Boathouse Bourbon, Alan? How do you get into
financial
like
analyst, and my business partner is an embryologist, so it's finance and a little bit of scientific, so a good combination.
That is a really good combination.
You know what else is a good combination is
a meat stick
with bacon with their bourbon. So this is from Hempler's, and they are hyper local out of Ferndale. This is their bacon infused pepperoni stick, which I had a whole bag, one of this size bags, and I'm embarrassed to tell you how quickly I mowed through it. So this is a great pairing with your bourbon.
This is delicious. And at Bourbon and Bacon Fest, are we talking all meat? Are we just seeing meat everywhere, or do we have some veggies that are mixed in at these places? Like a BLT where you throw some lettuce on this situation.
Last year, we've seen everything. This year there's going to be a butternut squash risotto with smoked bacon from HG Bistro. Let's see, Arturo's Mexican restaurant is bringing a traditional pork carnitas.
Okay.
So there's all sorts of different things.
You need to come hungry.
Yes, come hungry
and ready to donate some money.
Yeah, absolutely.
Yeah, okay.
I mean, that your ticket in and of itself is contributes to Treehouse.
Okay.
So just if you go to Tacoma.bourbonandbaconfest.com, you can check out all the different ticket options.
Okay.
And while you're there, when you're checking out, if you use the promo code New Day for all of our New Day viewers, you get 10% off.
Okay. And then last but not least, you're going to kill us.
Last but not least, this is our fun one. Not a bourbon, but a whiskey. It's a unaged whiskey or white whiskey infused with a number of things. But the star of the show is smoked ghost pepper powder.
Oh my gosh. Am I going to cry, Alan?
It's hot, but not over the top. But we get every reaction in the book on this.
No,
It
this
just
is going to
depends
be
on your
where
meat tolerance.
I show what a weenie I am. That's what's going to happen.
Because,
oh gosh. Oh gosh. I'm doing it. Oh, that was not a good idea. That is really hot.
Everybody has a different reaction.
Alan. Ooh. Oh, it's still burning.
This was last year, though, or in March when we did this in Seattle.
Bacon.
You guys had a line.
Yeah, we had a line for this the entire show.
Okay, so you can get this at the Bourbon and Bacon Fest that's happening this Saturday. Whew, my mouth's on fire. October 27th at the Tacoma Armory. Tickets are still available, and you can get 10% off each ticket by using that code. Like Taryn said, New Day. Use that code. All the info is on New Day's homepage. And coming up, a fresh new look for your bath right before the holiday guests arrive.